So what we're going to do today is I'm going to do the reservation pre-work and the greeting. So we're going to actually cover two of them really quickly because they're short, especially the reservation pre-work. Now, notice that I'm starting with you before the customer is ever here. So let me ask you, how many of your customers have appointments or coming in with appointments now?
Most of them.
Most of them. How about you?
10 a week.
10 a week, so what percentage is that basically of your...
Probably say 50%.
50%. So anywhere from 50% to pretty much all of them are coming in by appointment. Now, let's put our customer hats on for a moment because it's always important to think from their perspective. If I'm a customer and I've gone to the trouble of setting an appointment, going online on the internet or calling in and setting an appointment, and I've done that, and I show up on the drive and you're, "Good morning, Mr. Hope, how are you?" Well, you do a great greeting, but then your first question in your greeting process, which is the next thing we're going to talk about, is, "And why are you here today? And what can we do for you?" And I've already scheduled an appointment for a specific visit. What's my impression of you at that point?
Not prepared.
You remember?
Doesn't remember.
Yeah, you either didn't care or you forgot, but it's not the I feel like if I set an appointment, and this is how you get customers to really want to set appointments, is that I'm a step ahead of the game. I'm not just showing up out of the blue and hoping you can work me in. I've set an appointment. So one of the major things about customers that we hear countless times, over and over again in customer feedback, is not just that are appointments available, it's did I kind of move forward in the process by setting an appointment? Did I save time, right? Am I going to get better care? Am I going to get better service? So the idea of the pre-work is simply, did you make good notes when you set the appointment? And if you look at the process steps here, did you review those notes before the customer comes in so that you're really ready? And by the way, that's never been easier, has it? With the automated systems that we're using, you can pull up a history on a customer. We used to have to print out, if we were going to be prepared for a customer, we'd have to print hard copies of stuff. We don't have to do that anymore, do we? Can't you review the customer's history and everything pretty readily? Mm-hmm. Right. So either if you're using a tablet, if you're a dealership using a tablet, or if you're just looking at your computer, you quickly see, but you need to be able to know, I've got these appointments today, Mr. Hope is coming in, and Mr. Hope is going to have this. He's driving his Ford 150 truck, or he's driving his Chevy Silverado, and he's going to need this done, and I'm ready to go in and say, now we're doing this today, and what else can we, so we step into the picture. Mr. Hope knows that he's spent his time well making an appointment. Does that make sense? So the pre-work is, what do we need to do to be prepared? So that customer drives up on the drive, and then we think about one thing. And I like to say it this way, getting them at hello. So it's that getting out to the car, greeting with the car. You guys know that I'm a big fan of that. That's where the walk-around starts. So we're not going to cover the walk-around today. We'll do that in our next session. But it's opening that door and saying, let me get that door for you. What I like to call the Four Seasons approach. Let me get that door for you. Good morning, Mr. Hope. And we go from just making contact, which is saying good morning, to making connection. And if I've done pre-work, it's the foundation for making connection. So I'm so glad to see you back at the dealership. Welcome back, however you want to say it. And today you're here for, right? We're right there. We're starting to make connection. You see the difference? Now that's very different than, oh, good morning. Welcome to the dealership. Contact, right? That's good. But connection is where you acknowledge the relationship that I have with you, the history that I have with you, and what I'm here for. So this is, we don't talk enough about these two steps. Are we ready to serve? Fully ready to serve? And by the way, if we think about what's in this for us, certainly customer retention is part of it. We always want to treat a customer in a way that we retain them, and we also want to treat them in a way that encourages what? Customer satisfaction, right? Because isn't that an important report card for all of us? And for you guys, you own that report card. These 6 steps, you own all of these, right? Notice what didn't I have on here? Fixed right. You don't own that totally, even though you play a big role. So these are the ones you own, as well as the ones that have the big. So you have the biggest impact on the customer's experience. So when we talk about pre-work and are we ready to go when that customer comes, this is getting them at hello. So what about a good greeting? What do you think makes a good first impression? Notice down at the bottom of this panel, you have a little block, and it talks about greeting the customer at the vehicle. Now, let me just say to you this. We do know that there are customers, and it happens every day. It's probably already happened today. You guys have already been on the drive, since early morning. There are probably customers that came into the dealership and came up to your counter. Is that correct? Yeah. Now, some of those customers, we kind of trained to do that, right? So they know to bounce out of the car and come in, and some of them are just anxious to get going. But I believe that if they're at the counter, you need to say, let's get you going, or to get you started, or to get you going, let's step out to your vehicle real quick, right? Because up the counter, as one of my colleagues used to say, we're writing up a vehicle and we're writing up a customer. So all the good stuff happens at the car. That's what they care about. Your counter and watching your head down, typing 10 words a minute, and forgive me, some of you may type faster than that. But that's not the thing. It's the car. So let's get out there, and then we're set up to do our walk around, which is the next big important piece. So making that first impression, are we at the vehicle? And then secondly, do we demonstrate, one of the questions on the survey is professional and courteous treatment. What does that look like? How do we demonstrate professional and courteous treatment to a customer? What do you think?
Being in uniform, clean cut, looking representable.
Yeah, looking professional. So the way we look, we always talk about, we don't just wear these shirts because they're comfortable and, it's better than wearing other uniforms. So you guys are lucky that you've got these comfortable polo-type shirts that you can wear. Covert, Hutto, it's got your name on there, so you're easily identifiable as somebody, but it looks professional, right? You've even got a ball cap. I think that's great. Anything you can do that makes you look like part of the team. I often think of the person coming across our drive, kind of like they're pulling into the pits at a race, right? That team that comes out, that team looks like the team, don't they? And they've got a certain energy about them. One of the things that I've talked to dealerships about for some time, there's a tire dealership tire retailer up in northwestern United States, up in the Seattle area, and they're known for what they call sudden service. And what that means is that anybody that drives up on the drive, they are required, any employee that sees anybody driving on the drive, they are required to sprint to the customer's car. And I've seen them do it. They don't run, but they're moving. And they get to that car and they grab that door. Now, I've never been in one of them, so I don't know what they say, but I have heard a customer describe it this way. And he was on camera, I'm telling you, in his man, and he actually was emotional. You could see the emotion as he was saying it. And he said, I've thought about buying my tires there one at a time. And he kind of smiles and he says, because I never feel more important than when I go there. Now think about that for a moment. It's a tire place, right? So can we affect that kind of connection with our customers? Yeah. By the way, we do hear customers on focus groups, automotive focus groups, when they're really happy with the dealership, when they feel connected, they say, for example, oh yeah, I told a friend recently, you're having trouble with your vehicle or your car or your truck, you need to go down to my dealership and see my guy. And then they'll name the advisor. They'll name the service consultant. And then they'll say the name of the dealership. So get what they're saying, go down to my dealership. You couldn't have a stronger relationship. What does that mean about customer retention for you if you have that kind of relationship? Big deal? It's a big deal. So we're ready for the customer. They come in. We've demonstrated by our dress and our demeanor. Now, what do I mean by demeanor? It's behavior. So how do I need to behave with the customer to demonstrate not only professional and courteous, especially courteous? What do I have to do? This is simple stuff, but it's important.
Just smile.
Smile.
Positive.
Positive. Shake your head. Yes, nonverbal. Shake your head. Right, acknowledging what they're saying. There's certain word tracks repeating back what they've said. So again, that's speaking in a way that you're making connection. So it's not speaking at them, and it's certainly not hearing their primary reason for the visit. Oh, you're here for an oil change. We're going to get you started, and you never have another conversation, right? And even though you could say, well, Michael, I know we're going to do a multi-point vehicle inspection, and we're going to present that to the customer later in their visit. Okay, I accept that. However, what about making some of that juicy connection right now up front? If we can get them at hello, we're not having to scramble at the end. If they're completely satisfied on the front end, if we wow them, and we're only going to wow them, again, by their experience, if we wow them at their door of their vehicle, or if we wow them at first contact, right, we don't have to play catch-up later. We just have to put a bow on it in our active delivery process and make sure that our active delivery does just that. Does that make sense? So that's all we're talking about. So the idea of pre-work, it doesn't sound like much, but it's never been easier because we've got the electronic means to readily pull up customers' information. The other thing about that is, just before we leave it, is to make sure that we do contact the customer in advance. And I know you guys do a good job of that. You've got somebody. Doesn't Melissa do that for you all? Contact the customers in advance?
Some of them.
To remind them? Okay. So when you can do that, that's a great service. Any other professional that you go to, dentist, doctor, lawyer, financial planner, don't they remind you of your appointment? Yeah. And we're just like that. I hold you guys in the same professional esteem as any other consultant or advisor. I think those words are important. You're not called service writers anymore. A service writer is a different thing. That's literally, it's almost like driving through McDonald's, right? So, I got your order, hamburger or fries. You're just writing down what they want. We're not serving the customer. And by the way, you'll make a whole lot more money by fully serving them and taking care of them. So it's kind of a benefit to you, a big benefit to you as well as the customer, in that they do get complete service. So in our greeting, we clarify their needs. We make sure, and this is an important thing, we make sure that their address and contact information is correct. And I know you all do a pretty good job with that. But we need to always make sure and collect an email address, right? That's something that we have not fired 100% on. I don't know about you guys on the Ford Drive. But, you know, gentlemen, let me just say this to you. We're in a day and an age now where we can reach out and touch customers so readily. But do you know how they like to be contacted? It's not by telephone, right? And it's email works for most people. The very youngest of our customers, do you realize that they don't even want an email? What do they want? Text. My granddaughter, I called her on the phone and I got her voicemail. And her message on her phone was this: "Why aren't you texting me?" That was her voicemail on her phone. "Why aren't you texting me?" Now, think about that. She's 25 years old. So, you know, she expects you to interact with her that way. So we're evolving and adapting to where our customers are coming from and what their needs are. So this whole idea of the greeting, what is the greeting? How does it take place? Well, we want to do it at the car. Now, your first impressions, I've got some simple things there. Smile. Demonstrate a willingness to be of service. We're going to wrap it up right here. Demonstrate a willingness to be of service. That means that they get it. You've got some enthusiasm about you. I'm darn glad to see you. This is the most important thing that can happen in your day as a customer drives up, right? Assist in opening the door, make eye contact, be friendly, enthusiastic, and ready. Look professional. You gave that to us. And make sure that we write down their name and we use it, especially if it's a customer that we're just getting to know. My name is music to my ears. So kind of your summary here is right here in the middle of this page where it says, be ready to fully serve your customer. Don't make them waste their time or money on repeat visits. You can always say to any customer, I can save you some time today. While you're here, we can take care of those tires for you. Right? That saves me a visit and a trip to someplace else. Okay. Any questions? So, that's basics. It's very straightforward. This is a retail practice. And you all do understand, and I'm always saying this, and I'll be saying it for a while yet. We are a retail operation now. We are no longer just a warranty-driven business model. We are a retail business model, just like they are in the sales department up front. So, retail. And in retail environment, any retail environment, whether it's a restaurant, if it's a place where you're going to buy a television, we expect to be certain things to happen. These are the things that need to happen in ours. Does that work? Okay. Next time we're together, we're going to look at walk-arounds. I'm actually going to do a round of video coaching, another round of video coaching, and we'll have that as our backdrop, but we're going to cover the walk-around next visit. Does that work, guys?
It works.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.